Oh, welcome back if you are joining me again, and welcome to you if you're joining me for the first time. I've got some milk left over and it desperately needs using, and I've also got some really nice pasta I want to try out later. I've also got some cheese that needs using. So the only thing I can think of that I can actually save me some money is I'm going to make a really simple cheese sauce. But just because we're making cheese sauce doesn't mean that you have to have anything else. I'll explain as I go along. But basically, I actually quite like using cheese sauce in a lot of recipes. It's actually really good for if you want to put it on top of chips. Instead of when you do cheesy chips putting actual grated cheese on, you can always thicken it up and actually pour over this lovely cheese sauce. So I'm going to start. I'm going to melt. I've weighed everything out. I will have everything on my steady page if you're interested. It is a really simple recipe and easy to remember. So we're going to start by melting the butter. So as you know, my butter is already in my pan. So we're going to let that melt away. You do not want it burning or bubbling. We just literally want to, let's turn this down again. Silly thing. Just want to lightly melt the butter. We're going to wait for it to completely melt, and then we will be adding the flour. The other reason I wanted to do this video is because I'm testing the flour in how it makes my sauces taste. Because you know I've already tested it in my pancakes, and I'm so happy with the way my pancakes are coming out. I mean, they are tasting pretty good. So this is a great opportunity for me to test this in a sauce. So, because it has made a difference to my batter. So I'm just going to let that melt and I'll be back in a minute. So the butter is nearly melted. I'm going to show you the way that I was shown. So if I'm wrong, I apologise. But this works for me. And obviously it's the way I was shown. So we're going to start by making a roux. For the white sauce, you want to make sure your butter is completely melted. No, you don't want no lumpy bumpy bits in there, do we? There we go. That's literally nearly done. You can just move the butter around. That does actually help melt it quicker, especially using quite a big block. I'm lucky, I've got some beautiful butter at my disposal. Of course, you can use margarine, especially if you prefer to use margarine. You don't have to use butter, but it does taste a little bit better. Alright, so that's the butter all melted away. So what we're going to do, we're going to really slowly add your flour, and we're going to constantly mix. Do not add your flour all in one. Because you'll find you'll have a little bit more difficulty mixing it into what we want to achieve. So keep stirring and gradually add your flour. Alright, I'm just going to get the camera so you can see what I'm actually doing. Bring you over, and the idea is the idea is to keep it moving. So if we add a little bit more flour, you see the amount I'm adding. I'm not adding a terrible amount of flour. You'll find it will take a long time, but as you can see already it's starting to thicken. So I need both hands for this, so I'm going to have to put you down. Let's pop you back over here. There we are. Alright. So as I said, it's equal amounts. So no matter how much flour you're using, you want equal amounts of butter and vice versa. So there we are. And yeah, that's starting to thicken quite lovely. But yeah, and what we want to do is we're going to actually turn the heat up just slightly, because you don't want to burn it. And we're going to continue. Pour the rest of that in there. There we are. And what we're going to do is continue to mix this around, and we're going to cook off the flour. I don't know about you, but you can normally smell the flour cooking off. So, do you know what? I actually do think I might be short on the flour a little bit. I knew my skills were acting a little bit up. Right, I'm just going to work this a little bit more. Normally, I'd say give it a good sort of 5 minutes, but you don't want to leave it. You don't want it on the bottom of the pan. As I said, you do not want it burning. I've got to admit, the batter is looking, the root is actually looking really, really nice at the moment. It's looking as fine as my batter mix is. So, that's cooked off really quick. That's impressive. So I'm just going to turn the heat down because, as I said, this is actually cooked really quickly in the pan. A lot quicker than the normal plain flour. And I'm really, really liking this consistency with it. I'll just bring it over. Can you see that? Right. So now we've got that. It's time to add the milk. Again, you do want to add nice and slowly, and you will see it start to form. I'll bring this over again. See, here we go. That's what you're looking for. Don't worry, it's not gone wrong. You just literally always keep working it, pouring little bits at a time for a better consistency. Because again, if you go ahead and just pour the lot in, things won't tend not to mix. You'll end up with a really lumpy sauce. Doesn't always taste always great. This is what we want. We don't want to be doing this again. So by mixing the sauce up now, you've got it always ready for next time. And yeah, it takes a little bit of time, but it's worth it. Like everything you do yourself, it is worth it by miles. So I always do prefer it. And the thing is, what it ends up doing is you're becoming a little bit more aware when you're going out to eat. Because the thing is, if you go out to eat and you think, mine tastes better than that, then you definitely know something's a little bit wrong. So I'm just going to finish working this milk in, because this is the bit boring bit, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I'll finish working in the rest of the milk, and I'm actually just going to leave that for a little bit. Again, don't want to turn the heat down to a medium heat. You do not want it to boil, and just allow it to thicken up. At this point, I've obviously added a little bit of salt and pepper for taste. At this point, it's a white sauce. Well, if you add an onion and a bay leaf, you have a white sauce. But at this stage, because I actually don't mind it a bit looser because I'm adding the cheese to it anyway, you can actually at this point freeze it as it is, and you can turn this white sauce into anything you want. If you can add Stilton to it if you want a Stilton sauce. Obviously normal cheese if you want a cheese sauce, and keep it for the white sauce and use it for your lasagna. So there's plenty you can do with it. I'm just going to turn this down again. But what you want to do is just keep moving it, and you can feel it getting thicker as you're stirring it. So that's nice and warm. As I said, I'm making a cheese sauce, so I'm going to use this cheese that I didn't think tasted that great. Well, i.e. hasn't got a lot of flavour. I've got this on a really low heat, and just gently again, don't add your cheese all at once. the cheese in with your sauce like you did with the flour. I want some of this for lunch actually, or I did dinner. So a bit more, I think that. Alright, that's plenty enough for me. And again, just by adding the cheese, the sauce has thickened up really nicely. So I'm going to leave that on a low heat for about 10 minutes. Obviously just checking between, because again, you don't want it to catch on the bottom. And that's it done, pretty much. And what you can do is I'm going to freeze mine down into little pots. And again, this will last up to 3 months in your freezer, but it doesn't take long to defrost. You've got then a base for any meal that you want to start, or anything you don't think you had, for the cost of a bag of flour and half a pint of milk. So at the moment I'm actually really happy with how this has come out. I'm really liking the consistency of the flour. I hope it tastes as nice as it looks. I will be really impressed. And I'm hoping, if it doesn't give me that claggy feeling that you normally get with sauces, and I do think again that's down to the flour. So I'm leaving you stirring away here, and I hope you enjoyed this short video. But I thought it was worth it while I was making it, and plus the fact I get to try the flour, and I've always wanted to try it on a sauce. So yeah, doing pretty good at the moment. Ups for the flour. I do advise excuse me, I do advise trying it and giving it a go, especially if you suffer with the bloated feeling that I say that I tend to get when I was eating plain flour. Not obviously eating plain flour at the bag, but obviously in sauces, especially in my pancakes, because you know I eat a lot of them. So I like to eat something that doesn't make me feel bloated afterwards. So I'm going to leave this, because that is looking quite lovely as it is. I might add a little bit of mature cheddar to that just to liven it up a bit, but apart from that, I can do it when I defrost it next time I need it. So thanks guys for watching this, and if you did like it, give me a like, really appreciate it. So, and stay tuned for my next video. Thanks guys.